and getting pulled into one of the best sci-fi stories gaming has ever told. And the bonds you form that make this trilogy an absolute must-play for any sci-fi fan. There's a world fantasy RPG that refuses to die, and it's one of the easiest games on this list to pour endless hours into. You play as the Dragonborn, a warrior with the power to slay dragons and absorb their souls. But the main quest is almost beside the point. The moment you're dead, every town has its own problems to solve. Every kid hides something worth finding. There's always a new production coming. And then there are the comments. The community has created tens of thousands of them, from total graphics overhauls to entirely new quests, which means the game can stay fresh basically forever. That's exactly why people keep coming back to it year after year. Next up, we got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the game that fully turned the series into a sprawling RPG, and it might be the biggest game in the whole franchise. Set in ancient Greece during a brutal war between Athens and Sparta, it's an open world you can sink dozens of hours into, leading to multiple different enemies. The world itself is the main attraction. Ancient Greece is beautifully realized active cities, islands, and a huge sea to sail across, fighting naval battles and discovering hidden ruins. Yes, there's a bit of a grind, the story drags in places, but for pure scale in a world this rich to explore, not many open-world RPGs offer as much to do.
Okay, sorry, we're late.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the second chapter in the FF7 trilogy. And it takes Cloud and his crew out of the city into a gigantic, vibrant open world, one absolutely overflowing with things to do. And there's so much here, it's borderline ridiculous. You can rush the main story, sure, but the real game is everything around it. A sprawling adventure that'll happily eat up weeks of your time if you let it. So what fills all those hours? Combat, for a start. It's fast, flashy, and party-based, letting you chain together devastating synergy attacks between characters. They come to video games, dozens of them, including Queen's Blood, a card game so addictive it could have been its own release. On top of all that, it's got a deeply emotional story and a soundtrack that ranks among the best ever made. Simply put, this is the JRPG genre firing on all cylinders. We're great.
Don't do this!
Now, ask any longtime Fallout fan for the best game in the series, and a lot of them will point straight to this one. Fallout New Vegas, made by Obsidian, is widely regarded as a high point for choice-driven RPGs. You play as the Three, a delivery worker who gets shot in the head and left for dead in the opening minutes, but survives and sets out across the Mojave Wasteland to find out why. What follows is a story shaped almost entirely by your decisions. The heart of it is the faction system. Powerful groups are all fighting for control of the wasteland, and it's up to you to support the greatest RPGs ever made. Up next, we got Metaphor Fantastic, fantasy epic from the same studio behind Persona 5, and it might just be even better. It's a turn-based JRPG that takes everything that team does best and draws it into a dark, original fantasy world. The setup is fantastic. The king has been murdered, and a magic spell declares that whoever earns the most public support will claim the throne. So you set off across the kingdom, joining a race to become the next ruler while uncovering a much darker plot than you can. Combat is built around archetypes. Classes you can freely switch between the main battle, from sword-wielding warriors to powerful mages, and learning to exploit enemy weaknesses makes every fight a satisfying puzzle. What really sets it apart are its heavier themes. It tackles prejudice, fear, and politics in a way most games wouldn't dare, wrapped in a striking and imaginative art style. With a gripping story, a brilliant cast, and an adventure that easily rivals the biggest RPGs out there, this is Atlas at the top of its game.
The grilled cheese cups are back. Get them in classic cheese or with bacon. Things feel hard right now. That's why we're introducing the new Vegas City. to build a brighter future for you and for everyone. So join us.
Monster Hunter World is the ultimate just one more fun game, and easily one of the biggest time sinks on its whole list. It's an action RPG built around a simple but deeply satisfying loop. Hunt a giant monster, use its parts to craft better gear, and go hunt something even bigger. You play as a hunter, tracking down massive beasts across rich, detailed environments. Every monster is its own puzzle, with weak points to find and attack patterns to learn. With 14 completely different weapon types to master, every hunt can feel like a fresh challenge. And finding the play style that clicks for you is half the fun. It's even better with friends. You can team up with up to 3 other players to take down the toughest beasts together, which is where the game truly comes alive. The story's pretty thin, but between the base game, the massive Iceborne expansion, and an in-game grind that goes on forever, you're looking at hundreds of hours of monster slay. It's the definition of a long-haul game. Closing out the list, the purest, most classic JRPG of the bunch, Dragon Quest XI is a love letter to old school warfare. A charming, heartfelt adventure that's widely seen as one of the best the genre has ever produced. You play as the Luminary, a young hero who discovers he's the reincarnation of a legendary warrior, then gets branded as evil and hunted across the land. With a band of loyal companions, you set off on a sweeping journey to clear your name and save the world. It doesn't try to reinvent anything. The combat is traditional turn-based, and the story follows a familiar hero's path. But it's all executed so well, with so much warmth and polish, that it simply works. The world, designed by the late Akira Toriyama, is bursting with charm. Between the main story, a huge post-game, and a mountain of side content, there's a truly enormous amount of adventure packed in here. A perfect note to end the listen. Alright guys, that's the list. Make sure to subscribe and let me know if there's anything I've missed. Also check out my next video, and I'll see you on the next one.
Good evening. How do you do? Today we have a number of Vancouver Canucks related trade notes and draft notes to dive into today. We have a number of conversations to have about Jake DeBrusk, teams that are linked to him, that could be knocking on Vancouver's door trying to acquire him. We've got the latest on Elias Pettersson, looking as likely as it was maybe a week or two ago. Let's start out with the trade updates in regards to Jake DeBrusk and EP40. It comes to us courtesy of an article posted by David Pagnotta on the fourth period yesterday, June 18th, 2026. The Canucks are listening on DeBrusk and Beatty.
Stamos can help you crush your to-do list. So you can get back to living. Crushing your to-do list? That was easy.
Now I know what you may be thinking, Lego, that's not new news. Pettersson and DeBrusk's name being tossed out there in trade talks, didn't y'all just talk about that yesterday? Yeah, we did. We made the video speaking about Aaron Portzlin's commentary that DeBrusk could go over to Columbus for the 14th overall pick. We also made the video about Pierre LeBrun's update regarding Pettersson as well as Brock Besser. 3 forwards, all potentially on the trade block, but now we have some more word as to what's actually going on, courtesy of David Pagnotta. The link to this article is going to be in the description. It is no secret that Jake DeBrusk wants no part of a rebuild and is open to a change of scenery. He has made that abundantly clear to the organization, and while a formal trade demand hasn't been made, both parties are on the same page, and Brian Johnson has received calls about the 29-year-old since taking over. DeBrusk is entering the third season of a 7-year, $38.5 million contract. He owns a full movement clause and has significant say in where he will end up once dealt. There is believed to be interest in DeBrusk from several teams, including the Ottawa Senators, Seattle Kraken, Winnipeg Jets, and Columbus Blue Jackets. And trade discussions are expected to intensify in the days leading up to next week's NHL draft. So we have already made videos about CBJ as well as Ottawa, but Seattle and Winnipeg are two new ones. If you're thinking about each of these teams, you're trying to keep score, I'd say the Winnipeg Jets, they probably should be the better of those four teams. But it's going to be a stretch depending on what happens with Connor Hellebuyck, right? If that guy ends up leaving, then, oh boy, I don't know how good Winnipeg is going to be over the next few years. Seattle makes sense as well, the idea that they need some more scoring down the wing. I mean, the Kraken have just been a really big team. There hasn't really been that explosion that we were waiting to see after they made the playoffs all those years ago. They've just been kind of hovering around no man's land. And honestly, I don't think Jake DeBrusk is the guy who's going to go over to Seattle and take them out and into the promised land. Like, DeBrusk is a very good complementary piece. He can get 40 to 50 points a year, but if you're relying on him to be a number one dude, I just don't know if he provides what you need a number one dude to provide. Now, I understand the Kraken have a number of other pieces that would probably be over Jake DeBrusk if you're looking at it from a hierarchy point of view. But I guess for the Seattle Kraken, they're thinking about quantity, not quality, right? That's a terrible way to describe an NHL team, but I think it's the proper way to describe Seattle. Columbus, Ottawa, these are two teams that we've already made videos about. You can check those out there on the YouTube channel. The Columbus one, I still subscribe to the idea that the 14th overall pick, if Vancouver has that available to them, they should be all over that if it means getting Jake DeBrusk off the team. Beyond DeBrusk, the Canucks have multiple pieces they are willing to take calls on, but none would steal the spotlight if a trade were to occur more than center Elias Pettersson. The 27-year-old's name has resurfaced in the trade market more consistently lately, and there is a growing belief across the NHL that Vancouver's firm stance against retaining on Pettersson's contract has somewhat softened. It's not to say the Canucks are willing to eat a big chunk of his $11.6 million AAV, but if that number drops to $8.6 million, does that help push a trade across the finish line? Daniel and Henrik Sedin and the Canucks want to work with Pettersson to get him back on track, and that would certainly prop up his trade value, which is far from high at the moment. But some teams are poking around again, and Ryan Johnson will listen. In an ideal world, if a Pettersson trade is consummated, so that's a really interesting piece of knowledge as well. EP40, Mr. 11.6, how about Mr. 8.6? This has always been a sticking point in the Pettersson trade discourse. Man, the guy's contract is huge. This is a guy that nobody's going to want to trade for. Now, I understand that there are caveats to that. We made a video just a few days ago talking about Nico Hischier and the fact that he could potentially be getting, what, $13 million-ish on his next contract. That's going to be very helpful for Elias Pettersson in softening the blow on how bad his contract's reputation is. If Nico Hischier, of all guys, can get $13 million, then Elias Pettersson at 11.6 is not that bad. Now, I'm having a pretty difficult time here actually trying to find that video. It was from a while ago. Let's just Control F here. Hischier. Okay, no, that's not it. There it is. On the right side. Elias Pettersson potentially getting a big favor done to him from Nico Hischier and the Devils. But hearing now that supposedly maybe $3 million retained is okay for Vancouver, I'm sitting here thinking, man, the contract goes on until 2032. If the Vancouver Canucks are interested in retaining, then they have to be very, very sure that Pettersson doesn't get bought out at some point. Because if you're retaining until 2032, the contract gets bought out. Depending on when the contract is bought out and that distance, the time it takes for that contract to expire doubles, then Vancouver could be holding on to Pettersson and whatever dollar amount for potentially a decade if they're unlucky. Anyways, you don't need to think about that at this point. Let's just hope the Elias Pettersson trade gets done and there is no salary retention if Vancouver takes on that contract, and I'd be okay with that. Just don't put the power into screwing Vancouver's cap picture into the hands of somebody else. And that's assuming Pettersson is bad enough to even get bought out. I don't know. We're talking about Jesperi Kotkaniemi getting bought out. Pettersson could be in the same boat. Who really knows? I'm just thinking about worst case scenario if Vancouver does retain and some other team thinks that they don't really like the new player they acquired. Speaking about acquiring centers, let's finish this video off by talking about Caleb Malhotra and the latest out of him and his situation. Here's what Cam Robinson said on the Called Up podcast earlier this week. There is now pushback on Caleb Malhotra at 3rd overall. Caleb might want to chart his own path, away from his dad, Manny. Now that is really interesting. It's not just me, it's not just some of you who are thinking about the Malhotra father-son dynamic as a weird thing. Potentially, Caleb thinks it's weird too. Now, I can understand you're saying, oh, well, that's not exactly the same thing as wanting to chart his own path. I'm not saying it is, but like you can see the relation there, right? If Caleb Malhotra is subconsciously in the back of his brain thinking, man, I'd rather leave an organization that doesn't have my dad in it. When I am Chase Reed, Todd Harvey, Vancouver's current director of amateur scouting, loves keeping Bearhoff, which checks out with all the other information we've been reading over the past few months. And then Cam Robinson says he thinks there's a world where Carson Carrolls goes 3rd overall to the Vancouver Canucks. All options are on the table. So, yeah, Carrolls to Vancouver, that'd be interesting. Do they need another left-handed defenseman? I do not know. I mean, as much as I do like the idea of William Carrolls and Elias Pettersson, I don't know if that's necessarily the guy Vancouver should be taking. But anyways, you can leave me your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about the Jake DeBrusk trade update? We got a bunch of teams involved. Pettersson, retaining salary, seems to actually be an option. And whether or not Caleb Malhotra pushing back at 3rd overall is a good thing.
The Chevy Trax. It only looks like $1 million. The SUV that lets you step out the style. Life is finally paying off your own home, then having to help pay for theirs. A Sun Life advisor can help you plan so their dreams don't dim yours. Talk to us about your insurance and investments.
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Nate here. And I'm willing to bet that you already know what I'm about to say, so I'll spare you the lengthy introduction about how big Skyrim is. Just know that after over 2 years covering the Elder Scrolls V, we are still not even close to done with everything Skyrim has to offer. It's been a little while since our last Tiny Details video, so I figured it was time to rekindle that flame. Just sit back and relax, as we dive right into episode 54 of 10 Tiny Details You May Still Have Missed in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Starting off, Bolli is a wealthy and relatively well-known Nord living in Riften. He owns the local fishery and has recently become a devout follower of Mara. So devout that he's begun generously donating vast sums of his wealth to the local temple and other charitable causes, much to his wife Nivenor's frustration. Alas, Bolli is harboring a bit of a dark secret. He's cheating on his wife with Helia, the owner of a nearby inn, who has quite the reputation for being, shall we say, promiscuous. During the side quest, caught red-handed, we'll be given the opportunity to confront Bolli for being the cheating husband that he is. And while we're doing so, he'll initially deny the charges, saying this.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'd never sleep with anyone besides my new wife, Drifa.
Did you catch it? Drifa isn't his wife. Again, he's married to Nivenor. Drifa is married to Bercy Honeyhand, the co-owner of a local pawn shop. Now, we're honestly not entirely sure whether this was simply a mistake by one of the game's writers, accidentally getting names confused when scripting dialogue, or if Bethesda made Bolli slip up like this on purpose to further paint him as a creepy cheater and imply that Helga isn't the only woman he's having an affair with. Whatever the case, we'll likely never know for sure, but it's a hilarious little detail, intentional or not. Next on our list, this one is pretty, well, strange. So, Northwatch Keep is a small Balmor-occupied fortress in Skyrim's remote northwestern tundra. It's used by the Old Murray Dominion primarily as a prison to house captured Talos worshippers. It's at the center of the quest, Missing in Action, where we're sent to storm the castle and rescue a member of the Greymane clan who is currently being held in elven clutches. However, the Thalmor soldiers stationed here seem to have some pretty weird dietary practices. In the fort's dining area, we can find all sorts of foods prepared on the various dining tables. There's bread, baked potatoes, everything seems normal. But on one table, where an elf will be sitting and eating when you first arrive, there will be raw beef on its plate. Eating raw beef? That doesn't seem like most people's ideal meal. But even then, it's not just this one instance. In the commander's quarters, we can spot another Thalmor agent, sitting down and having a meal at another table. And that meal is yet again raw beef. What's going on here? Well, we don't really know. Neither Skyrim nor any of the Elder Scrolls games have ever suggested that high elves have an appetite for undercooked meats. In fact, Ulmer are portrayed as overwhelmingly snobbish, and you'd think they want nothing to do with it. It's just gross and doesn't make any sense. Now, I do have a bit of a personal theory behind this, though. I think that it's not actually meant to be raw beef that they're eating, but instead, human flesh. Think about it. There are no cows near Northwatch Keep. It's quite literally in the most remote region of Skyrim, and raw beef goes rancid incredibly quickly. Logistically speaking, they just shouldn't have access to it. What they do have, however, is a small legion of imprisoned Talos worshippers. You can probably see where I'm going. Just a little food for thought. No pun intended. Coming in at number 3, Dustman's Cairn is a relatively large Nordic ruin nearby Whiterun. When we first visit during the companion's quest, Proving Honor, it will be inhabited by both undead Draugr and some very much alive silver-hand bandits. And the two sides will actively be battling each other in its depths. It's frankly really cool. But what I found especially funny was that in this dungeon, in one of the final chambers, just as you enter the crypt itself, it's possible to find a silver-hand agent hiding in a Draugr's coffin. almost like he's pretending to be one. When the Dragonborn approaches, he'll sort of emerge. But unlike what we see with most emerging Draugr, this Silver Hand won't bust the door off the sarcophagus. Instead, he'll just kind of mesh through it in an ultra-immersive fashion. Even more intriguing, if you use console commands to notebook through the coffin while the dude is in it, he'll even be in a Draugr-like pose. Some have suggested that Bethesda just made a bit of an oopsie, and accidentally put a human here where a zombie was supposed to be. But no, is Heel March's most prominent business. Though surprisingly little background information on the tavern is given to the player. At most inns we visit, we can speak to the innkeeper for a short backstory on how their place came to be and got its name. However, the owner of the moorside, a red guard named Jonna, tells us nothing. Well, through a bit of digging, we can begin to piece together how this institution came to be. You see, its sign and logo bear a striking resemblance to the sigil of Sentinel, a city-state all the way over in Hammerfell, the home of the Red Guards. Furthermore, through analyzing the creation kit, we can discover that Jonna, again the moorside's owner, is in fact the sister of Thalion, a Red Guard mage who recently moved to the city from an unknown origin. While Skyrim itself makes no mention of such a relationship between Thalion and Jonna, if what the game's file says is true, and they are siblings, they likely both moved to Morthal together from Hammerfell, and judging by the sigil of the inn, they likely came from the city of Sentinel. Jonna went on to found a tavern, paying homage to her old home, and Thalion continued doing some magic stuff. But nonetheless, it looks like the Moorside Inn may have some background of its own, after all. Halfway through at number 5, speaking of taverns, this is one of my favorites. Most of the buildings in the city of Whiterun feature a tiny little dragon bust carved into their roof's architecture. It's a neat detail that seems to only be present within Whiterun. But at the Bannered Mare, the city's largest inn and tavern, rather than featuring dragons in its aesthetic, it has horse busts, an obvious homage to the name, the Bannered Mare. Mare, of course, being what one calls a female horse. This seems to be the only institution in the city that has replaced the dragons with horses. So it's nice to know that someone went out of their way just to give this place a little extra character that many players will never even notice. 6. Okay, I promise this is the last tavern-related detail of the video. The Retching Netch is Solstein's only inn tavern. It's owned by a gunner named Gildress Sadry. Now, as you might notice, it's got a bit of a unique name. If you ask Gildress how he came up with a title like Retching Netch, he'll say this.
There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks. I noticed a Dublin staggering along a bottle of soup javelin. Well, you see, this particular Dublin was as naked as the day he was born and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a Netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the Netch, yells, "After," and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground.
Such a quote is a nod to the movie Twister, wherein one of the protagonists recounts a story where he, while unclothed, tossed a bottle of a certain non-advertiser-friendly substance into the air that never touched the ground during a tornado. So, it looks like someone on the Dragonborn DLC's development team was a fan of Helen Hunt movies. Next, Castle Volkavar is the home of the Volkavar clan of vampires. I know, shocking. However, did you know that despite this fortress being owned by vampires, literal worshippers of the dangerous god Molag Bal, deep within its depths, in an abandoned, ruined section of the structure, lies a statue of Mara. Now, for those unaware, Mara is pretty much the exact opposite of the gods the Volgar clan like to worship. She's an Aedra, generally considered benevolent and kind, acting as the goddess of love, compassion, fertility, and agriculture. So, why do the vampires have one of her shrines in their castle? Well, honestly, it's a pretty big mystery that no one knows. One theory is that Castle Volgar wasn't built by the Volgar vampires, at least not originally. Instead, some suspect it was constructed by Bretons from nearby Ireland that eventually abandoned the structure or were forced out of it, and Harkon just came in and took over. The Bretons of the Elder Scrolls universe are meant to act as a bit of a parallel to Anglo-French culture, and castles are right up their alley. Furthermore, Mara is the patron deity of many of High Rock's regions. Though this is again just a theory. Whatever the truth behind Castle Volgar's origins and what this statue is doing down there, only Lord Harkin may know, and Lord Harkin's lips are sealed. Coming in at the parade, in the large and ancient north ruin of the Relbox in the Rift, it's possible to find a skull partially dug in the grave, with a bunch of tiny, almost giant-sized mummified drivers lying in it. Yeah, pretty sad. Not much more to add here, really. Moving on. Getting close to the end here at number 9, one of the most famous phrases uttered by guards is as follows.
Let me guess. Someone stole your seat.
Montana smoking breakfast back. All you can do is the new hot bottom martini and the black-haired big kid brisket popper. Plus, looks like for just $4.99. Come on in, this week's will blast. Montana's cannabis home for barbecue.
Well, those guards, specifically native to the region of Markard, have a unique variant of the same phrase that you may not have known about. It goes like this.
Let me guess. You need a drink. It's a sip of that in you're looking for.
And finally, last on our list, we're going to be getting a bit technical. So, whenever the player engages in dialogue, each of the different dialogue options available for you to select from on the tree has a specific ID in Skyrim's files. So, for instance, say you're speaking to the Jarl Barker, and there's 3 different dialogue options to choose from. Each of those 3 options has a specific ID connected to it that's invisible from the player without console commands. Well, during the quest, Blood on the Ice, Windhelm's Little Murder Mystery, when we speak with Toma Shattershield and ask her to reveal what she knows about a recent series of murders that have swept the city, one dialogue option you'll eventually get to use when trying to pressure her is, quote, I have authority on this matter and need your cooperation. The background ID of that dialogue option is, quote, respect my authority, a nod to the phrase popularized by Hartman in the TV show South Park and the accompanying meme. The more you know. And with that, we are going to wrap up our 54th installment of 10 Tiny Details You May Still Miss in The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Thanks for watching, everybody. Which of these did you already know or were previously unaware of? And what Skyrim Easter eggs and fun facts have I yet to explore? Leave a comment down below. As always, like reads are very much appreciated. Seriously, please, they help. Anyway, again, thanks for stopping by, and hope to catch you all in my next video. Peace out, everyone.
Your sausage pizza.
Holy cow.
I had it in us.
It's like a pizza that ain't there though.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let you take that in.
Thank you. Oh my God. If I could have that, it would be amazing.
It's just exactly what I felt.
I don't think that honestly the best pizza ever. Does that look like the best pizza? I can tell you, it doesn't taste it. So the dough is so thick. It's just like a loaf of bread. It's like a baguette.
So that's our big crust.
That's the thin crust. Stop. Wow. Seriously.
Yeah, I want people to get upset with me for that and ask for the same crust, and I bring them the thin crust.
That's wrong. Pastry. Going on down.
All right.
Address on it. That is definitely not the best pizza ever. Let's get that right.
You wanted me to show them?
Yeah, it's all over. It's
Basically, it's going to the inside and crispy.
It is good. Really? Are you kidding me? I don't know what the chef is talking about, and a lot of people wrong. I lied. But she has heard somebody about me. Are you kidding me? Look, this is disgusting. Look. How can you step out this strong when somebody hasn't tasted a classic pizza before? Then it tastes all this fancy stuff, you know. Yeah.
Well, here's that. This is on here.
A meatball here. Wow, and how do you go from everything?
I guess you approach that.
Wow, thank you, darling.
No problem.
Just fishy. There's nothing here I'm looking around that. That's not anywhere near here. That looks more like a sloppy Joe. Man, it's all soggy there. It's like it's natural, a certain way of things. After the couch shower.
Yeah, that's that.
And it's definitely not here, yeah. There's some top of it. It's not here, but it's here.
I'll let him know.
Please.
So what is your chef's response?
Yes.
Yes, it's a 0, not a 0.
I don't believe this. I have plenty of people that love my people. I am very proud of my people for surviving to 0 to 0. It's very something.
It's really good. Flavors of vitamins.
Not to now, just stay off the bike. What's that?
That's all of the small one.
That's the store.
Yes.
What is this?
Always wasn't back out in the same because I was using it tough.
Wow. Get this stuff.
Yeah.
It's double top here.
No.
Go to hell. Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'm not only by boss.
Okay.
So the big boy is probably going to tell you.
Mark, the Brian was talking, and he said he will bypass because if not, he's going to need a bypass. Well, it's been nice. But it expels their limits.
I don't think he's taking things as serious as I am, and that's the problem.
Once again, good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's making fun. So the lost the body. This place moves. Jessica, you see how much laughter is in this role? Look at that all that.
I know. It's a whole lot of
There's more. Laughter and that's exhaust. Watching how every sound have that in there.
Yes, it typically is a pound. Yes.
That should be the whole way, the lot, but not the actual way of the movement.
The book society is everything includes. That's part of the problem.
Nothing toasted, soggy, scuffly, like I am done. You just turn it, that's not, thanks, honey.
Yeah.
All around, black hand. Right,
This is larger than a regular lobster. What? This? He said that the total weight of a lobster should be in pounds, not the meat in itself. But this is where you lose people.
I think it looks a lot bigger now. Very large. And I feel something. Lobster all back. It's too much lobster.
I've never played with lobster. One.
There's a good job.
Okay.
Nice. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Wow. Sorry, bland, no time specific. Charming, this is only that's why I'm sorry. Jessica,
Look impressed.
thanks for that. Please.
Oh, very thin.
It's bland.
It is.
I'll need to paste myself in more open glass. Threshold.
Yeah.
This bland.
I'll go back to say
Anything. Coffee, the
yeah, it's not good down.
and Royal Treatment.
The big club, it has a salad and protein.
Let's start off with that. Shall we?
Okay.
That's what's better? Your lungs?
What's better than on table?
I think the better than lungs.
And your mom.
Fine. Okay, great. So I gotta get the big ball for the kids.
Forward. Palmer. Palmer.
Amazing. Thank you, Paul.
That's the first thing. Yes. And I'm going to do some things. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I leave it all a big fan.
And now you said just say, you know, serve good food and people will come.
That's important.
You serve good food, but the people will come.
Big fan?
Is that my big bag? Yes. Are you taking that or are you taking that? How are seafood? Bacon club.
What's in there?
This is the layers of salad, layers of cupcakes, bacon, and roast potato.
Thank you. I have started to sandwich this morning. Honestly, it's actually good. Very destructive. Wow. It's very disappointing to tell you. It's nice. Anna, this guy here, it tastes like cold. Okay, Garfield. It's in the fridge.
That's all we're after.
Oh, next. Let's taste on it. Enter.
There's the bed. I'll leave it.
So the third place that they have a very high place to like I was just like third person. Because they said that was
A lot of them are these photos. Wow. Are you the people planning the events?
The last like 100, there was 126 things on there.
Okay, right, let's start off with 5
Okay.
What about the week?
Okay.
What's the best of that?
Pass on Motley Motley.
Let's do that.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, of course, it is. Stop. Let's find it. Take me back to 1981.
Okay. Have a fried ravioli for Chef Ramsay.
Fried ravioli? Yeah. Might be because it's possibly made. But the problem is the rest president of my don't like fried ravioli.
Okay, my ravioli. What's the
It's a Thai cheese stuffed ravioli. I'm not sure.
Well,
It's a vegan ravioli.
about that.
Feels not.
If you don't like the pan, you have to know what's inside.
I'll find out right now.
Thank you.
How's it going? I need to find out what cheese is in ravioli.
What cheese is in ravioli?
Yeah.
What kind of cheese is in ravioli? Fine. It's an entire cheese. It's an entire cheese.
Oh, it's not big deep. Fine, frozen. It even tastes like cheese.
You gotta go away and you got American guarana and skin cheese.
Yeah,
Got it? Let's get that.
yeah,
Ramsay? I checked on the cheeses for you. The plastic ricotta.
Ricotta.
Also American guarana. Something called cheese white country blend.
Where the fuck is that from in Italy?
I have no idea where that's from.
Look,
And a skin cheese.
in a fried ravioli. What does that mean?
It's fat-free cheese, dipped in fat.
It is in fact, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'd rather go.
check out this week's offers app. What is the local brand? Oh, this is. Okay. Cohen. Cocoa
Thank you.
and the library.
That's right, thank you. Now, when I think of a man jar and think of that nice, beautiful shaved meat, so I've got a perfect shave. That's about 50 double cup. You pick the spec lines or something like that. Okay, so that's over me. The man in a diner. Chicken bits of red wine and gallery, lots of mushrooms. Oh my God, we're keeping all the cooks for 24 hours. This thing is like a dinosaur off the burner. That's a slow. I'm going to attempt to do something still fine dining. Boys, handmade tortillinis. I don't know why they said that handmade because they look like store-bought sauce. They taste like absolutely. But it's escape. I've got more big cheese in the city. So, stuck in these.
Well, I don't think they're in-house.
I was going to say, it's made up of menu. Age 74, 1979. You know, they come to there, it's only for your back front, and I'll pay for the flights. And it's not good about my hands.
Did you there's a no filling in the front tortellini?
Yeah.
And the benvenuto, you just said still pay for your flight back.
French dish, pocarino, and I know we're going to see it. That's not a thing. The film started that. So the back myself. They exploded the fire. And it's all over. Nobody's saying anything on the fire building for like a year. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Don't be able to. No, it's a lobster. The lobster is it's not. And it's romantic. Cherry. It's not. It's just like a relaxing sandwich. That's fine if you got it. It's a tasty thing on the menu.
The lobster? Oh, the DLC was lobster.
It's raw. The worst complaint is definitely the other provider and the potential of getting somebody sick. The last thing you want in this business is to hurt somebody. I'm gonna cry.
Lastly, different vibes.
The guy that they need is so bad that it's have to put it's back in the family. It's in the diagnostic hospital really intense now. They've got weight reactions there, everything's done badly. But even the fries are big, dirty, black bits all over the thing. So the kind of wow.
You like that?
I had a fish and chip shop on Tony's brand. So amazing on fries. I took a job to my serve fry with that in Times Square. Who's running this place?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, feel dessert. Let's get it out there. And this is a big one. Hey, and oh, I can't wait to meet him. Yeah, boy. You just got to get quite yourself in the great mac and cheese. Things that make it exceptional. This thing is just seeing the cheese sauce, so it must be not very good. It says that. So we just got so, signatures for us. These things are like a disaster. Yes, that's that. Easily, whatever cooked. They're flames in hands.
I don't know how they're cut in comparison. Yeah.
Different sizes, so that one's got a cooked plate for that. It feels like it's just all got to there.
This was returned from the border. I was watching the size of the chicken,
Right.
how they're different sizes, and they would cook at different speeds.
I don't think you produce the chicken really in a proper size and a movie.
I'm just a messenger.
He is salty. I'm doing this 30 years. You know, don't hide behind the design of it. What are we going to do with this? Come to the end of the region, there to there. Yeah. Cheesesteak, egg rolls. This chef back there is Japanese. This is the Vistini sauce. The cheese sauce. It takes fresh. Not this.
Here are your tacos for you, garnished by Chef Bobby.
Sure, probably. It's just so loaded, everything's just so heavy. You see it, you got tacos, like if you buy one there, it's gone. I don't know, it's
Overwhelming.
why overwhelming?
Bobby, the tacos came back from Gordon, so within them they should get 3 bites longer.
Everybody wants it. No one complains about the size of my coffee. Obviously, he's probably got a small package, and that upsets him, so you have to take it out of my coffee. Instead of giving it 3 bites longer, you're going to do it. Give it 3 bites longer. How's that? This is for that's it, yeah. It's going to take a package, say one of the 3 bites longer, so on, so take it. No, this is the cat, this is the cat. The cat's Bob. Say to take him back. You send him back and just give him his message. Okay, it's my message. Let's go. Shut it up, George.
That would be Bobby's business card.
Probably, yeah.
Fortunato, otherwise known as culinary gangster.
Right. It's funny to say. Probably, unfortunate.
I'll put it.
I've never seen such a restaurant this already as much as this. There's no energy, there's no excitement. You're trying to get a message. It's probably stars. behind that kitchen building.
Bobby, Thunder leave you spelling mistake on your business card. Bobby Unfortunato.
The one who needs to understand that if you get to my face, then could be your fired. Seriously?
The throwback prices you've been waiting for are finally here. Make your way to Popeye Supplements right now, because it's a protein frenzy. Whether you're bulking bigger than an 80s hairdo or trying to stay fueled during exercise, Popeye Supplements is offering crazy savings so you can max out your gains without blowing your budget. Hurry in.
No one of the dogs don't want to eat it because they miss their pizza. I'm going to go and see if other people have got their food. How are we? Are we enjoying lunch? You found a hell of a cheese. Yeah. So, there's a hell of a cheese. Let's get it.
Yeah, I see that. We'll take a set of picture. I'm really sorry about that.
Nothing worse when you try to eat properly and have to floss with a few hair. Sorry about that.
Is that a mirror on the food? Can you send it back?
I think the restaurant is really good. You know, I think both of them might give them basic things here and there.
And then the shrimp salad. Running up here.
Thank you. Just looks like some stuff. It's from 1918. It's back up. Done. Let's see. That chicken looks like it's standing by the tree good. Follow. Salad. Let's take a salad in the see the salad. It's the city is the and it tastes terrible.
Watching the board aside, our menu was absolutely mortifying. We wanted to put it on. Carlo, Caesar salad. See this, you know, I'm just like $1. I gotta go home. I can't watch this anymore. So, burgers.
Birds.
Drop it to the one way. Where's? Open space.
I mean, over there, and still that side of the owner. Anything for the owner?
Yeah, so I just fixed the door, and apparently it's in this office.
After disappointing lunch, it's time to finally George and gather the team. So this wasn't fair.
What is worrying is what? How long for it? Okay. Well, you're making I'm going to call and go foot. Okay, we tell you all the things that he wants to sue for, we can subscribe. That's what I'm hearing. Let's just put this all together, guys. They hold on some pizza because Francesca's making an internal super friend. We're going to bring them out. They'll let you know where to go with it, okay?
Don't just say, it's going to look at the thing.
I direct I told Antonio to hold off on the pizza, you should give him the go-ahead, okay?
Very slow. Just a wise and such. Probably a little bit communication between the two. But
Kitchen.
I don't even very important, but it's like kids from December.
Okay, so first, should I have Antonio go with the pizza first? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, babe, to go with the pizza for table 14. Let's go to the table. Okay.
I don't necessarily have to do it. I'm sorry, I don't have to see it. Thank you. Okay. All right. Let me start next. Just the rest I said. Let's see. Swear next to it. It looks like it's still next to it. Just the boss right up next to it. No. It's just like whatever goes to the next course, I might see a little split. Yeah, what I think about it is how you can see this little bad that's not the beginning. You don't start off with I'm doing good, so what's on the best? Go through the motions.
Did you like the taste of it, or you did like?
You gotta buy it, that's it.
Okay, show it out. Okay, guys. I'm gonna go very close. Table 14 too.
You have a money out of set. That's it. Thank you very much. Come on, take something fantastic. Check off this lighting choice. There's a red flavor.
We're doing that one. As well, it's also just one for this tiny trucker, one for the backyard barbecuer, and one for the underpaid intern. Which means it isn't just one. Every beverage container matters. Don't trash them. Return them.
Hello, job.
Specific.
Also, excited to get this. You should have a moment for a pair of like clothing element. All the stores you are in, it's the flavor. Very good. Oh, my God.
What else is board and waiting on? I need a film of that. Off the ball. Okay.
That's all, Bill. Yeah, I'm ready. Just one. All right, give me the meatball. Yeah. It's all. Okay, can you guys take this? Pick up on two. Let's get started. And you want to say there. Thank you. So $2 for that. That's what I do. Wow, so. People's next cold. We're just like a blind. Yeah. Tough guy is like cold. I think I should quote. Yeah. Yeah, that was I was expecting. Only next year before we get back to the city. I'm sorry again. Yeah. Always sick. So, we called the cold inside. I put my finger in and I had it cold.
The meatball is cold?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Dad, we have Snapper now.
We do? Oh, he's fine. Okay, listen, this to me in order. 10 lemon pepper wings, 13 tacos, his entree starter. Hey, it's a bring you with you have separate one. Yeah.
Thank you, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's it.
The Snapper has a heart.
The food is ready. Take it out. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next item is tacos.
Wow, that's the way it's been. I'm going to say I get glass and the weird smooth.
Yo, what happened to the, I was thinking with tacos and mac and cheese? You took it for the wrong thing, didn't you?
Did they tell us what made something?
Yeah, we have to
Exactly.
What's chocolate?
I made a mistake. I gave somebody the wrong food. I did the wrong thing. The jerky taco, I said I don't know what to take to the store.
This is Gordon food.
He was leadership, but he don't have control of what's going on between the floor and the kitchen.
The lemon pepper wings are ready. Let's get that in, because that's what you want. At least it wins.
Okay. Okay. It just makes like it's a sort of balls with the biggest idea. Not really patient.
Yeah, what's going on, you know? Like, you have the one that's sitting around, like, no one's going on. Say it, dog. I'm quiet. What you see, I'm quiet. I need this out of here. I need this out. Isabel? Is there a box?
Here's a drink. That's the biggest problem. Well, if anything's under this down, I'll take them down and find the vitamins. Yeah, seconds the back. Well, and except that.
I think everyone's under pressure right now. Everyone's shy. I don't want to be one. What about that?
You're going to tap that as vitamin first. If so, you have an action plan. Into that last pedal of this project. There's a scatter. It's like it's going to be that's our root blocking by protein staying from the way when the source starts taking the customers. Using a classic for the best is got to be follow the philosophy. Other side is there's high population. You can see them. I said,
Yeah, I want to let you know how we season our food. There's a special seasoning called pop sauce.
what is it consist of?
Special peppers that come from Canadian.
Yeah, I love that. I'm just talking.
Probably my grandpa.
Yeah. I might ask if the food is like things up to.
It's my top unit. Or another 88
One of the
hours.
and sales pounds to the list. Shopify, Amazon, wholesale, retail, get on the video. The following is for you since your stuff. And this is our spicy breakfast salad.
That is really bad. And so it's just like the sleeping. Those eggs are terrible. Terrible.
Need a block for, yeah, go get home. I get a friend one. I'll make out in the bag. 3D old block for it.
It's about $60 for that. It's a high price fishing boat. It's not bad. It's not bad. Just like show a little bit of 10 lines.
Yeah, because the love.
Well, look, honest with you, don't cook it up. Go ahead.
Alright, Chris, you said that there's absolutely no seasoning in the spice represents.
Great. I don't know what else to say. The dishes have been sitting up here. What do you think's gonna happen? The dish has been up here for 5 minutes.
Alright, I'm going now. I'm going now.
I can make the best food ever, and the time we bring it out to it is that it's terrible.
You want to take this to go in or stick out of the table?
I don't know.
Yes, give them a positive and you want to make the judge on the right now.
That's there. That's the staple. It actually tastes okay. It's kind of just fun for you. You just go to the motions of it, banging the food out of there. For sure.
Alright, do I have to remake the answer on this one now because we left it here because we couldn't get it out because we brought it to the wrong table?
Yep, I got it. Alright, go ahead and just have cake and cut it in.
Thank you. It's such a shame with this because it's actually quite nice. The French food, but it's just this so much bread. A tiny bit of this needs to be handled with it.
I agree.
Like, it does not make sense.
Alright guys, Gordon said that the friendship is actually very good.
Nice.
But there's too much bread and not enough meat.
Okay, so usually I don't want to get into this.
$21. So big. So it's funny again. So yeah, $1 yeah, listen, I don't work at this point. $21, so you have to transfer sometimes. The trade school didn't advise, but I'm tasted love and favourite love, let me tell you. After the conflict and stress, I'm doing a celebration today. It's time for me to test them now, so you know, we don't mix it. I'm tired. This will be crazy. Then mix it. I'll make room for my reset. Thank you. And a decreasing amount of something. Oh yeah, okay. So it's deep oils that it's very greasy. It's also in one crispy. Okay. Okay. So we say straight from okay. Let's make it fast. Wow. The shrimp tank frozen. The people in the week. The secret identity it's all about just automation of character put together in a stick different fashion. And this is what it becomes. So that has fallen out of line inside there. Like this is just a straight to my grandma kitchen. But it don't take my mind that much kitchen, except my grandma. Yeah, it's good. Some of the things happen there. It's frozen. So I have to come to one is going to get to a table. Appetizing deep. Okay, so these particulars there, it looks off. It's like it looks away. Okay. It's going on. As I've done this so many times, and it's just like it's not coming out. You know, in the same advice is any idea of following, you don't understand. Well, you guys have a preference. And you know, it's family, so the region. I think he knows stuff. Yeah, press it on top, press it on top. So here we have the middle, and the sun is with the garlic sauce. So I love it. I think it. but this at least just can't be done. So they don't have to rip by it's something that's on the deleting. Not man to see it, just overcooked it too hard. And it's thinking about it, so you could sound first is let's have a look, $30 for that. In Yonkers, anyone paying that needs to be Yonkers. Some is food and it's better if you cook it in. So just the basics, there's not like there's no inflammatory bland in it.
Basic ones will side of this fire.
Right? Oh Lord, the best chef and I met them all. Okay. I couldn't go out. You know, and for me to back up, it's different. I'm going to this guy with over 8 tables. Thank you. Thank you. But then let's go. The cost and stuff on the floor. For sure, it took so long. That's crazy. Great stage. Suddenly, hanging out on a burger. This has got a reputation for good burgers on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is like sort of top level. Good fries, so $30. I think that it's like how they go.
Great. Chef Ramsey said that the ribs weren't warm, they were cold inside. When I walk into the kitchen, I feel tense. I feel like I'm not wanted. I feel like I'm too wanted. So, look at that, it's very toxic, and I don't know how to fix it. This is the last one, right? I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. It's like a battlefield. I'm so tired of it. I'm going. Enjoy. You're welcome.
I didn't see it. Don't get told off there today. Fine. It's a great story. Think of this being a staple in the day with us. Barely TV on this $28. This is way overpriced. Okay, here we go, the $30 burger. Having multiple burgers, I think it's across the US. Very well to charge $30 for burger, so it needs to be exceptional. Now this thing, exceptional learn. It's okay. I'm going to see that it's not bad. It's just not really up. $30. If it does, we're getting it.
Right. Chef said it's the burger with that.
He said a lot of things that decided that and then he gave two. That sounds looking boundary. Well eaten, some very expensive but mediocre food. $30 is overpriced, so that was deliberate. Now that lunch rush is over, it's time to talk to the owners. Okay. Thank you very much. Are the street lights faded out?
They are not. The Mexican pie is a great people. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you very much. Okay. Got the next time. There's one available. Heavy gradients. It's yeah, it's not the end man achieve, it's all ready. But it's just being fine for
And you said we need more things in that spreadsheet.
that shows well, grilled chicken, right? Let's see for cheese as well, you probably have to just on it. Basically just a little flat job with a regular old item. I'll also add tendrils for both chili, with hardly any chili in there. It's weird.
Did you get that on there? I'm concerned and I don't want to cover.
Life is finally paying off for the whole time, then having to help pay for theirs. A Sun Life Advisor can help you plan for their needs. Don't bid yours. Talk to us about your insurance and investments.
Every day we work here and switching across 4 different systems. But now, AGS handles all of them in just one execution. Simply scoring the giant outcome in one box, execute it, and let AGS map out the workflow across the system for you. All you need is simply review and prove the workflow. Watch the magic happen on your Salesforce account, as it starts by pulling up the right record. So how are we making out?
Yeah, a lot of stuff is all spam. So they just take some from the grading, it's just
Provinces.
and this is it, it's like the June best, even if she can just about it properly.
We go over your way?
That is about it. Thank you very much.
Looks so happy. Right. We did not do for Gordon Ramsay. It was not happy. Does not his dog after hard. But please. We gotta get this right. Here you go, Gordon. Oh, there's a Barney.
I'm going to say,
Oh,
thank you.
I'm here to have it before. So,
Yes.
I need harmony.
Right. Right, thank you. Wait, have you? Good night. Look at that, oh my God, Joey. That is nice. There's more weasels than that, than just in my granddad. But he's been dead for 10 years.
He's looking at his hot dog and Tuesday over and Tuesday walked away. It was bad.
Right, think about it, they should be, yeah, fan, you see, delicious, this thing, this the range called from this is a priceless. Wow. That is terrible. Oh my God. It's just ridiculous. It tastes so chemicals, so it's just very, very salty.
I don't think he's happy at all.
There's no way that this hot dog and this regular man, look at it. It's like 5 minute hot dogs at 4 o'clock in the morning, Times Square. That is just, without you see something happening. Hello, how are you? That's my thing is?
Mary
Very nice to meet you guys. I'm done with that over Chicago document expert. I'm very confident.
Of course, I'm
Thank you. Double triple star, but it's definitely selling so. We're going from that one. So we have this looking back. Honestly. I'm going to go spend my time on this one. That's the video. I mean, it takes rubble.
How doing?
The crap of this one is bigger than I mean, yeah, it's just rubble. Yeah, I love this.
Wow.
Yeah. Everyone.
Got it.
Thank you. God bless. Yeah, this is the polygon area. It's a bit of handy. Yeah, so I'm going to the police and we'll get to China and I'll come back. But going around, those guys, please. I need a plane man, please. I need a plane man. Okay, let me communicate with one another. I cannot be screaming and yelling and shouting in every single stage. That's what it was. I literally swimming. It's like a volleyball. But I can't. I scream and stare every time. It's not true. People die because it's funny. But it's scary. Okay, yeah, my synopsis. Are we playing fresh or is that we doing it every day? They the latest one. And something that's not sure. It's like volume. Yes. That's good. I'm getting it. Yeah. That's a just get the volume. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Okay, my friend, come here. You come here. When was these samosas made? When did you make it? Day before that, day before yesterday. If they're not happy with the samosas, I do not know what to say about that. Now, you should have made some samosa in the cheese paste. Now we are making the product when it's already made. You want me to tell? What is that? You made it day before yesterday. I'm kind of part of the guy, and it's really one time. Sure, my mother, I just need to like cover my bill. You're making fresh samosas now? You serious, man? You know who you make the samosas? So we have a combination of typical the white meat, the malaka, the tandoori prawns, and the black substance. Once, you want to execute the suspect. And you know, the chef is in. I want to give that. Definitely, sir. That's going to be honest. Yes, sir. And I will, to be honest, it looks like we've already got what we think. So, it's very imperative because whenever you see these colors, there's always in the background and carry forward and still depending on who's coloring. So, the plate for the background should be very spicy, delicious, but it's at its frozen form. You know, please tell me, do you put color for the tandoori prawns? So that's color. Do you put color for the tandoori chicken tikka? Not for it. Come on, man. First you like to remove my shirt, then you remove my pants. So, is that? Yeah, I'm going to do that. It's covering. It's probably the most. It's a bit relaxed. It's good. You are going to do it. $42. Already was not at all happy. I mean, the man is like, what? Come on with it. Because that's the listening. That's why it's looking for the outside of the it's only a bit of it's all just supposed to feel it's good. We can say that back, I think. Yeah. Hey, all right, fine. It will be running on a map that I just learned in the collection. It's called Building. And I've never played it before. I think it's just a good stuff in the map, you know? But I get a lot. Yeah, that sounds good. It's nice to keep the game stressed out for sure. Yeah, I'm done with it. If you think I'm going to add the line, just to keep it. I have black color. Bill is the white color. Donald is the one color. George is the red color. Other than that, let's get straight into it.
Okay, this man is all over the place.
We're all to the same boat, Donald. This is your attitude flag. Don't let it go. I don't even have an idea for this map.
Oh, really
But
now?
I'm not so curious as to how you do to approach this game. All right, let's get exactly. I'm just going to get my face from the area. That's all good. It's 5 miles at a time, but it's just a different job. Start from down. Okay, let's take a choice. I don't know what you're saying. I'm using the first six, but I'm heading this week. Well, I just time to pop the choice. So the third.
Yeah, I'm just going to call you Joe.
Then I guess that's not the list. Okay, well, I'm playing for my one team, one territory, watch out, people. Go after them, that's my suggestion.
Back. So with regard to what I'm going to do, I'm going to invest fully in this one area in the middle to get the bonus for it next week.
Wait, what? You're trying for that early?
Yeah, this is what's being done with this.
What kind of football is that, Donald? You're burning the whole place down. Jesus Christ, Donald, you're doing way too representing on this
Back. I don't need your commentary, Gerard. If I had an opportunity to take over an entire area like that, then I will try to. It's not my fault I couldn't get it.
But this part is nothing.
It's the game's fault.
It's my job. All I was told is that the 100 dominant is done.
Oh, really now?
Oh my God. I will only back one step with that in my case for the child of the but I can't say that's the best strategy because some of the hard control my territory out the line over the line. I wish my captain could find something good. Consider you got this. I won't do anything special here. I will just continue adding my troops in my territory and back out there.
Are you sure the captain is stupid?
You can die. You literally did the same thing when you were defending Australia. Just come on down and don't do like that.
Okay. I was just joking. I was just trying to make sure that you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing.
I don't feel the same.
Just I feel like my territory is simple. I'm going to have troops into the housing territory to attack elsewhere for fun.
Okay, that's a good shot. I don't think that that's in the wrong place. He's down on that chest just right there. That's okay. This is the zone of justice.
What do you guys think I'm going to do?
I'm back up all the time.
I'm just going to take over this area and fortify so I can get a bonus in first.
All I care is that you will not be able to keep that bonus.
Oh, yeah?
You're still waiting to do the second one. Yeah, I don't know if you could defend it, Donald. Let's see what happens, though. All right, so what are you trying to do? I was thinking of two different approaches if I did not, but I'm just going to go ahead and go through the whole territory and attack Donald.
Whoa, hold on now. You're going to attack me. I have 5 things defending my bonus.
That's it. Well, eventually,
Are you serious right now?
that Donald pretty good to get the bonus next time like that. How do you feel about that, Donald?
Normally I'd be salty, but it's not like you would go to attack me. So I have to figure out how to help you.
That is true to my perspective, Donald. All right, it's time to go to Jordan to go to them. So to speak, you once again is going to the Congo territory and attacking us at the time. I would just consider that as going to be good. Okay, whatever you guys said. If you don't go to the citizen, then you don't get paid to do anything. So I guess you guys have to do it.
Great. This is exciting.
Donald, that's how you win the game.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that the team that just seems really weird to say. That's all.
You're not wrong about that, Donald.
Got the flavor block? Get spicy. With Buffalo cheese.
I live with my parents here in Canada. They wanted me to find my people, so I started donating $5 to not being able to give back and just sharing a piece of yourself to a group that takes you in, supports you. It's a big part of why I do it in the first place.
But let's see if you do after the fact that I took your vote as a bit.
But the only smart thing to do is to take this area. Hopefully I can defend it better so I can get the vote.
Well, you're definitely better than that. What happens if you start to that? Well, I don't think I have enough things to go to with my 7 systems to the state of how to territory down.
Thank God.
So I'll just have to tell you, one back out there, state is going to let down, get the money for that. What other options do I have to do? It's not like you just go to money around you. Because it wouldn't help you out for us.
Wait, what?
All the people that I can get there, although you could go to the best, you've also been making the Donald Legends to benefit from it. All right, Tom, I don't want to job in the rock, but I go to jail better.
How are you going to do it?
Some of us just choose to pull the troops defending the territory. You're right, okay, do it. You've got to attack on the competition. Don't surprise doing. Don't talk and get back to that thing.
Oh, you're definitely backing off.
Okay, so I'm the successful thing. You always do that. Yeah, but you. All I come is just get out of the work to put the house in there. Nothing new to go. There's no justice that puts it to go.
Back.
Yeah, all right, so. I'm going to come back. Get the back up over there. Well, it's about I'm supposed to put
And just like that, I got my territory bonus and I was taking full advantage of that by fortifying the area to the border.
okay, I'm going to and I put your desk and put it like that. It's only this is the first. So, if it was a bad time, she would have it.
So basically, frustrated the rock. You guys didn't have to sweat and kick down those.
Yeah, I was having that down.
Wait, what?
So, that's not long.
Wait, are you doing the real rock?
The style of the post on there. I'm not trying to take you through this, but let me skip it.
I guess this time.
Definitely not. I'm just going to go to the state. That's it, my bonus for myself.
It's super good at the bonus next time. Then you're more than the night. Don't think for 1 second that you're getting the end shape to bonus.
I got to see what's on it. All right, but you put the focus on it. It's time to go with George to make this sleep.
No way. You need to tell me that you're actually going to do something this game.
I'm not going to stay by the cadet. Just walk on his down.
Holy crap, so it's just.
I'm trying to make us finish. Besides, I'm just looking for some still. That happened to me. Here we go again. Well, lost that. Okay, good. Stop this stuff.
Not going to the line. It's big time. Once or twice to make it back. Both times to get held on it. Taking the phone, check back.
I was going to go to my business thing. All the time. Oh, we're now looking for my design. Well, all right, so we're good for that. Pop off with the
Sit around and let's get your data.
okay, how long are you going to attack this? You don't have to do this. Perfect time to go out. I don't think it's together any longer.
Is that popping off Joe? Don't even have an entire territory bonus yet.
Think you have bigger things to worry about down back.
Oh, really now? I'm about to prevent the rock from getting the territory. That's the way easier. I spoke to this before, Brian. Don't think for 1 second I was going to allow you to have that.
They'll ban the rock and get violated in territory. What are you going to do about that? So it's not like I can do nothing. You can get that thing to put it in that area. I'll just attack elsewhere. They're going to do it.
Attacking 1% foot. It's starting to sound like birds and like not the rock.
That's what I want to do. It's 15, 100 pounds, and it's $600 for the house. If you don't have to take an action, but I'm like this guy. And once again, I'm not going to run. I'm going to do it.
Here's the fact.
Want to talk about this meeting? You've done the territory zone. Last time they were good, something. Okay, I think so we can put the territory zone. I'm always out to try to do this go. After all, why tell this stuff is around?
Okay, I don't use your attitude around. Why just take it?
Let's talk more.
Okay, you want back to the last. I don't think any of us can do that.
I don't know if you want to do that territory. Kind of this yeah. This is like this. Ha 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 ha.
Here I thought Bill should have been bad.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. You guys don't have to do something. It's just a true story. Maybe look on your notes moving forward, yeah? And maybe work on your list skills moving forward, yeah? I look for those
Okay. It's time to take my team down and get the job done.
Oh, dude.
I will once again take over that territory and fortify my territory so I can get to this phone.
Once again, Donald, you are being to this. I got something about you to say about things today.
I'd like you to try this about just know that the boy can keep the cash. The less will happen.
It's not like I have a story, Don.
Oh, really now?
You're just still in the top left. It's really still towards the top right. I have to be the one to break the bonus up. Don't take it for the phone.
All right, whatever. You're going to turn right. We'll be along with the rocket popping off right now.
Just like the rock thing. Don't have time to back up to this.
You can't be serious right now, the rock. Why are you taking all this territory?
Because I feel like it. If no one is going to do anything, they're always going to start doing something. So it's expected to be eliminated first level before it can be successful. Don't get the event because I still have a very good zone for now. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to defend that, but I think if you can be playing tonight by boasting my defensive and attacking elsewhere.
Nothing new here. Hurry up with your defense. It's going to go to 30%.
Okay, let's attack this weekend.
Tire recycling is good. That's get started with CSPC dust.
All right, fine. What the hell is behind? On to the next track.
You just got down.
What the hell is going on?
Okay, that's good. You start to try to run.
Okay, we can't actually finish it, right?
Okay, what the hell is happening to you? Don't go so hard. You have no more time to do that. I didn't say to the players to get them from life. Okay, so try to go to Step it up. Okay, you can focus on the strategy. All right, I'm going
Yeah, George said that a lot.
excuse me.
You heard me, George. It's something I've observed. I feel like you always have something to say.
What's the problem with that? The only problem is that you have one of the so I'm going to let them
About that.
that's because I'm not going to rely on them. So I decision making. It's like you guys told me to do just that last time. So,
Because of that, George, you have a much better chance of winning this game. Just don't get too ahead of yourself and all this thing.
hopefully, seriously, I'm going to take all my territory down.
Yeah.
You show the streets to the side of the
Just like your hell on Cleveland.
seriously, Milan, wait, what? So you just stand there and still up against that side.
Yeah, come on, Milan. Learn from the emotional fire red plates and you haven't learned the game. Get it together.
I was looking to get it together. But after I get back to territory to find the just with the so
Milan, you do realize that you feel good, right?
it's all over the field, just focus on yourself. You guys are focused on the wrong thing. I clearly have the motivation to see the territory. Respect me, boys.
Only if you went there, you lean forward. What the hell?
It's not responding to that. Feel free to watch me dominate my territory. You definitely have a lot of students. Don't say it's stupid. I was thinking about maybe going to where the girls' territory is, but I'm completely not having enough students to break in, so I'm just going to tell the girls to do it.
For once, George, I'm not annoyed by betraying a state in there. Listen,
Thanks for that, Dominic. I'm just going to stop attacking and just fortify my troops in the right places. You feel free to attack as much as time and if nobody asks you to turn it up, then have the children to you. I told you the guy was using really to the deputy. For real. You can supply to these felons if you ask me to speak here. All I want about this job is to supply. You have to pop off.
how about now? And you only have 8